Bitches ain't shit and they ain't said nothing. 100 motherfuckers can't tell me nothing. What? Birds in the trap. Birds in the... Hi everybody! Welcome back to episode 2 of Boys and Lip Gloss, the podcast that I started because I'm so unique and special and famous that I can start a podcast. What happens is I wake up at like 5 a.m. every morning and I get up and crawl out of bed, brush my teeth, whatever. I grab my Alani energy drink and I take a sip of it, whatever, and I'm like fighting for my life. Another like 15 minutes passes by, I let my dogs out. The Alani has had enough time for like the first part of the caffeine to sort of kick in and I start getting like jolted. When I get in my car to go to the gym, this is so embarrassing to say. Okay. Y'all cannot tell me that y'all don't do this, especially for my introverts and my people who spend a lot of time alone. When you spend enough time alone, you end up having conversations with yourself. I'm just gonna be real honest with you right now. On my drive to the gym, I give myself fake podcasts. I do. I act like I'm in a podcast. I act like a camera's on me. I've been doing that for the past like 3 or 4 days, and I was like, at this point, I'm talking about the same shit over and over and over again. I might as well turn my camera on, get caffeinated, and talk to the camera. I have already talked to you for way too long. This episode is themed laughs, lessons, ladyboys, luck, and love. I wanted to reflect on 2024 because it's been sort of a crazy year for me, especially with this whole TikTok ban coming up. Now the Supreme Court is whatever, deciding on whether we're gonna have an extension on the TikTok ban, blah, blah, blah. Regardless, if I post this video and I no longer have a platform such as TikTok, I wanted to reflect on this past year and what it has brought me. But as we all know, for the 300 people who watched my last podcast, we always do an intro. Okay, so, wait, hold on, I have to edit an intro. I always get really nervous for this. Okay, welcome to the Boys and Lip Gloss, episode 2. How did I do? Did we do well? Okay, if you see my outfit that I'm wearing today, if you're watching, if you're driving or doing something else, stop driving, close your eyes. No, don't close your eyes. Take your eyes off of the road and look at my outfit. Okay, here's my outfit. I never wear sleeveless things. I don't know why I don't wear sleeveless things because, like, they're not that big, but I feel like I have, like, pretty good muscle. And I don't know why I don't wear sleeveless things. I think it is in, like, connection with the fact that I have a super feminine presentation and like the super muscularliness of myself is not hyper femme like the rest of my face and expression, and I think that's why I hide it a lot of the time. But I decided that I was gonna wear whatever makes me feel good, and I have never worn this shirt before. I bought it like 2 years ago and I have never put it on. Yes, I bought it from a thrift store, and yes, it was from Shein. Okay, I'm gonna be real honest with you. Okay, I bought it from Shein because I wanted to look good in it and it was cute, and I don't even care if it's cheap. Okay, it's lasted me 2 years. Have I worn it one time? Have I even washed it? Okay, the one time when I got it, I washed it because it was from Goodwill. Other than that, I've never washed it because I've never worn it. So I decided to wear it because it makes me happy, it's colorful, and going into the year 2025, I want to be more colorful and more expressive in my own self and be a little bit more me, even if it's not something that I deem as pretty or other people deem as pretty or attractive, because I don't have time to impress other people. I'm having a hard enough time impressing myself. Okay. So, as always, for, again, the 300 people who watch my podcast, I wanted to do a highlight of the week every week because I feel like in a world full of negativity, we have to work extra hard to see the good things. And, okay, now that I say that, it's going to be a little hypocritical, me saying the highlight of the week. But the highlight of the week is watching everybody on TikTok amidst the TikTok ban moving over to Red Note, and Red Note, a Chinese version of TikTok that is strictly famous in China, climbing to number 1 in American app stores, which is like watching it and then watching everybody post their like memorials of TikTok and everything, that like it transferred from like what are significant things to culture that you think of really often, and that transferred over to literally like TikTok memorials. Okay, y'all, if TikTok really does go away, and I think even if we get the extension, at some point it is going to go away, because we are living under what? A tyrannical government. And in the future, whatever, when we see TikTok go away, I truthfully am going to miss. It's just such a special place for like such good comedy and a good sense of like community. Like you can be truthfully yourself on there, and that's because we don't have American owners over top of, you know, an app or a platform that can specifically put in certain, and I'm not a fucking scientist, okay, a data or code or whatever to specifically oppress certain conversations like LGBT people or the revolution against the American government. So that was my highlight of the week, because it really is hilarious and funny seeing like the government put, and a lot of media platforms fear-mongering and putting out a lot of propaganda to convince us that the Chinese government is infiltrating our systems and stealing our data. And so we go and we download this app to our phone that holds literally all of our data and accepts the terms and conditions. And if we've learned anything about terms and conditions, it allows apps or websites or whatever to do a whole lot more with your information than you are actually aware of. Anything that they're trying to scare me against whatever the Chinese government is going to do to me, the American government has already done to me. I drive past a McDonald's, and 5 minutes later, I get an advertisement on my phone for McDonald's. I talk about something. Last week, I talked about plushies, or not plushies, what are those? They're little, yes, plushies, the little stuffed animals. And I'm not even kidding you, the first video that popped up on my TikTok when I opened my TikTok was plushies. It's like, I don't know, and I don't want to sound like I'm a conspiracy theorist or anything, but I swear, like, anytime that I mention anything that I don't normally consume, it pops up on my phone as an advertisement. I don't care. I don't care. Also, the second that I don't pay taxes, the government is going to come knocking my damn door down, okay? Talking about the government is going to steal our data and be too much in our face. They're tyrannical and they're whatever. Girl, y'all are already like that. My tax money is going towards politicians who truthfully believe that who I am is a mental illness. What are we doing? When did we decide that this was an okay thing? Anyway, that my highlight of the week turned into a negative thing, but you know the point. Okay, secondly, oh my gosh, what? I wanted to put my anthem of the week, something that I listened to throughout the week. And as some of you know, I injured myself back in October of 2024. I fractured my knee and double tore my MCL. So the top part of the MCL, which is, hold on, it's like the leg. Okay, pretend this is my left leg and this is the knee. Okay, this is the inside of the leg and this is the outside of the leg. Okay, again, if you're driving, please stop looking at the road and look at me. This is the inside of the leg. This is the MCL. It's what essentially keeps the top part of your leg connected to the bottom part of your leg. And when I was playing volleyball, somebody, I can't even, I have so much anger against him. Somebody dove, coming this way, and we both went after the ball, and we both should have called it, so whatever. He dove, and his full body weight came into this part of my knee and bent my leg toward my right knee. Anyways, and yeah, I tore both ends of my MCL. One of them was completely disconnected and the other one was partially torn, and then I fractured the left side of my knee. And I was a big runner. I was running a marathon every week, okay? I was on track to do like 1,200 miles this year, or in 2024. I mean, I was on track for it. I was doing such a good job at it. And then this motherfucker decides that he wants what I have. So he dives for it, and he literally bends my leg the wrong way. And so I've been doing a lot of cross training. And in doing that cross training, and by cross training I mean getting on the indoor cycle, to help with a good low impact but range of motion exercise that still incorporates a good amount of cardio because I'm a big cardio queen. I've been doing the indoor cycle, and I used to be in spin class like once a week when I lived where I used to live. And in order for me to be able to do like 45 minutes on the cycle, I have to listen to a playlist. And this playlist, because I've been so accustomed to spin class, is like remixes and like techno remixes, and so it's been really cool, and I like love that music. It's probably my guilty pleasure because I honestly like truthfully would listen to those things in my car, like just driving on a normal day. I love it. But my anthem of the week is Kodo Dama by Nalek. It is literally, hold on, I'm gonna find you like the first snippet. I don't want to get copyrighted because I got copyrighted on my last video, but anyway, here is like the literally first like 5 seconds. It's literally so good. And when I'm on the bike, I'm literally, it's like, and I'm biking. Oh my God, it literally, I don't think that you understand. I could listen to that song over and over and over again. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's such a good song. It gets my blood pumping. And when I'm on that bike in the gym, because it's scary to bike in the gym, right? Nobody bikes in the gym. There's like, the only people who bike in the gym are old people. I'm just going to say it right here. And so me, okay, a whatever 22-year-old man, lady man, getting on the bike, like a lot of people already stare at me in the gym. And then I have to get on the bike and stick my ass out in the air. Oh girl, people are staring, okay? And I wear booty shorts in the gym. I'm gonna be honest with you. I may live in this tiny southern conservative town, but I'm gonna impress people when they stare at me, okay? I do. And I shave my legs. Yes, I do. Okay? And when my ass is out in the air, I get a whole lot of stares, so might as well look good while doing it. Anyway, so I have to turn that up to full volume, and it gets my blood pumping, and it makes me forget that everybody is staring at me. So that's my anthem of the week. Now, I want to backtrack to the theme, and I really want to reflect on this year that I've had on TikTok specifically. The theme, again, is laughs, lessons, ladyboys, luck, and love. I really wanted to spend this podcast or this episode specifically reflecting on this past year that I have had. I have been so incredibly blessed in 2024, and I don't think anybody like really truthfully understands it about the blessings that have come into my life as a result of content creation. It has been crazy. It's been interesting. And it's been, like I said, a whole lot of lessons. But I want to start from the very beginning and sort of reflect my way through the year. And I want to do like the big checkpoints in my year where I really had something that like changed me and affected me, not only in my like life in general and financially, but also emotionally, and how I like learned from it, because I think that it contributed a lot to the conversations that I am having online now. But my first TikTok, like the one that put me on the map, was a story time about this lady whenever I worked at Starbucks as a barista. This lady who literally like grabbed onto my hand while I was handing her drink that she ordered, and we had a really tough interaction where she essentially told me these negative things about me and how I can fix them if I convert myself over to the Holy Christ Lord and the Holy Grail, because we know that all who can save is being saved by Him. Okay? That's all I need you to know. And I had a really bad interaction, and I actually still have like a bunch of notes of story times that I still need to tell that I haven't told. And the thing that people don't really understand, because I have been accused of being like an attention seeker, and people like will watch that one video and be like, oh, he's posting this for attention. Especially, like, not only on TikTok. On TikTok, I get a lot of love, but on, like, when my videos inevitably make it to Facebook or Reddit or wherever other than specifically TikTok, I get a whole lot of people who are like, well, don't wear earrings and makeup and put your hair up. Like, cut your hair, grow your facial hair out. First of all, I don't wear fucking makeup, and I'm pretty enough not to. I get it. Retouch on TikTok does a lot for me, and I look a little more rough on this $800 camera. But let me tell you right now, okay, I'm pretty. Anyway, so that is the first video that got me on the map, and I had never done a story time within the whole, like, ladyboy context of being misgendered. I never did a story time. And a couple of my videos actually in, like, 2019 and 2020 went viral. It was, like, 2 or 3 of them. And they were so stupid. Like, think about 2019 and 2020 TikTok. It's, whenever I go back and watch my 2020 TikToks, it's like going and looking at 8th grade pictures of myself. Like, it truthfully is so cringy. I have no clue how TikTok has evolved into what it is today after somehow we all survived and grew and matured from whatever the hell was going on in 2019 and 2020 in our brains. Talk about, we were all attracted to a couple of white twinks who were living in a hype house in California. Twinks. What were we doing with our lives that we thought that was good? Anyway, it's crazy to me thinking about that. Anyway, so a couple of my videos went viral. And me being me, I was like a freshman in college when that happened. And I was like, oh my goodness, like, I could be a content creator. Like, I could be a content creator. I could be famous. I could be an influencer. And so for literally almost 4 years, I consistently posted, it was more like 3 years. I consistently posted videos every single day. And nobody watched them. Literally nobody watched my videos. I had like 300 or 400 faithful viewers, and if I was lucky, I would get like 1,000 views, maybe 1 or 2 comments on some videos, okay? And those people who were there, bless you. I don't know if you still follow me or anything after I have turned into what this is, but bless you, really, truthfully. And I had like 4,000 followers for like 3 years. And I worked my butt off, and literally nothing. I stayed between like 4,000 and 4,200 followers for 3 years. Nothing happened. I need to tell you, nothing happened. And then I had moved out of my dorm into an apartment, and then from that apartment I moved into another apartment, from that apartment I moved into a house, actually. And when I moved into that house, I was like, you know what? Screw it. Like, I'm not gonna put this much work into it. When you are creating content and nobody is watching it, but you're like truthfully putting the work in, you spend all of your time on your phone. And I had realized that for like 3 years, I genuinely had like 16, 17, 18 hours of screen time. And I was like, we need to slow down. I'm spending all of my time on my phone for it to not pan out. And so, look at my, okay, anyway, I thought my bun was ugly. Anyway, it's not. If you're driving, stop at the road. Look at me. I'm pretty. Anyway, so, for like 3 years, yeah, I unsuccessfully was a content creator, and I was spending all of my time, I was working a job that I absolutely hated, okay? And side note, actually, I worked at a greenhouse for like, I don't know, 6 to 8 months, I can't remember. And I created a plant TikTok, and I got to almost 10,000 followers. So I had the deeds to be a content creator. Let me talk about that. I have the genetics. I don't know what it is in me, okay? Back when, like, a little bit bigger Lucas was making videos, like, I was sitting there making videos about plants, okay? And one of them went viral. Like, literally, like, 500,000 views on a plant TikTok. Like, stop it. And I got almost 10,000 followers. Anyway, so then I stopped content creation, and I was like, I'm just gonna focus on myself, whatever. So then I was in a house with 2 other roommates, and one of them being Janya, who is in my last video. And yeah, I just decided to focus on myself. And in that house with 2 other roommates, I eventually moved out of there into my own apartment because I wanted to live on my own and have more of that freedom and solitude. And when I was on my own, something really interesting happened, and I sort of was able to have the time to stop, like, wasting so much of my energy socializing with people as much as I love the people who were in my life. I had enough time to, like, be on my own, and I sort of blossomed a little bit. And that was really interesting. I started to get really confident, but I still hated my life outside. I was so myself when I was in my apartment and alone, and then any time that I would walk out of the door, something would change, and I really disliked my life at that point. And that one day at work, that lady stopped me, and she said something, like, really, really deeply hurtful to me. And this is, like, the Christian love that people spread is, like, the life you are living is an abomination. Like, you are wrong. Even if they don't say that verbatim, that is what they are communicating. That you are worthy of not only needing to be more connected to whoever in the sky, but, like, being saved from burning for all of eternity in torture forever. For what? Loving a man? I'm sorry, have you seen men? Have you seen men? They may be bad, but have you seen them? Do you look with your eyes or what? Because men are beautiful. Men are sexy. Men are hot. I would be losing out on life. Oh, girl, like, I would be missing out on life if I did not love men like that. And maybe, yes, maybe they're horrible human beings, and I'm sorry, and maybe they have taken over the world for literally all of human history. You know what? Who cares? I'm gonna give them more glory because they are sexy. I can't help it. Anyway, so I got misgendered by that lady and told that I needed to be saved. And I went home and I made a video about it. And this was probably in, like, January. I went home. No, it was actually in December when I recorded the video. And I was embarrassed. I had never talked to anybody. Maybe, like, my boss and maybe one or two friends in my life, but I had never talked to anybody about being misgendered because I was ashamed about it. I was like, especially growing up in the South, like, I'm taught there are even if I'm not taught with words, I'm taught that there are very strict rules that we need to follow, that a man looks like a man and a woman looks like a woman. And I was ashamed, especially with my parents. Like, I was like, I'm representing my parents, and I look like this, and I act like this, and literally every single interaction with a stranger, and I am not exaggerating when I say every single interaction with somebody who had no context over me was misgendering me, and I was embarrassed about it. So I recorded that video, that rant, and I looked, literally, I had, like, a turtleneck that a 45-year-old woman would wear. My hair was down, and I had tight black slacks on, and I'm pretty sure I was wearing heels. Like, come on. So I was nervous to post it. When I put it in my drafts, I was like, I'm not going to post it, because when I post it and tell the story time, not only are my 300 faithful viewers going to watch it, but, like, in that time, like, that's when negative rhetoric started really spreading about trans individuals and gender non-conforming individuals, and I was like, people are just gonna get on me and be like, well, of course you're being misgendered, look at you. And so it stayed in my drafts for, like, 2 months, and I did not post. I'm posted, like, every few days, whatever. And I'm pretty sure in February, at the end of February, I woke up one morning at, like, 9 a.m. and I was like, you know what, fuck it, like, I'm just gonna post it. So I posted the video, literally 9 a.m. laying in my bed, got up, got ready, went to work. By the time I got home, it had gone up to probably, like, 800,000 views. And I was like, oh shit. Like, damn. And then within a week, I had hit, like, 50,000 followers. And I was like, damn. And basically every single comment in that comment section was beautiful. I had received so much love that I didn't know what to do with it. Not only was everybody calling me hot, sexy, beautiful, and Inosuke. I've never watched that anime, but people think I should be Inosuke. Not only was I being called that, but people were like, you're hot. Like, you're, like, this is hot. Straight women were like, I'm straight, but you're hot. No, gay women were like, I'm gay, but you're hot. And I was like, yeah, Betty. Like, I attract every demographic. What do you mean? What are you talking about? And so I was like, okay, whatever. I'm receiving this love. I'm just gonna make some more story times. Like I said, I have it all in my notes in my phone of story times that I need to make. And I was like, I'm just gonna click from the list because all of this shit would happen. And not only would all of that happen, but then I'd like go to work and something else would be, some person would be disgusting to me or misgender me and it'd be a super awkward situation. So I'd be like, add that to the list. And I just continued to make very lighthearted content. I want to emphasize that. Like, I turned it into, in my eyes, comedy. There are some people out there who don't think that I'm funny. I have a mutual who has almost 1 million followers who does not think that I'm funny and made a shady video about me, actually, and I don't even know if he knows that I know, but, and yeah, I just continued to make, like, super lighthearted content because I was scared of getting negative backlash, of, like, talking about, oh, I need a burp, but I can't. My camera overheated, so we're back. I hit my vape for a little bit, off camera, and I watched some TikTok, so we're gonna get back to it. Anyway, as I was saying, I was creating really lighthearted story times because I felt like if I went on there and talked about how I really felt, it would turn into me getting really negative comments about people being like, well, if you changed your appearance, if you changed who you are, if you changed the way you talked, the way you did your eyebrows, the way you did this, whatever, you wouldn't be misgendered so much, which maybe, is true. However, the first time I got misgendered was back in like 6th or 7th grade when I was at the county fair and I was wearing boy shorts and a boy's t-shirt and my hair was cut like a boy, and I got misgendered, and I did. He said, "Come along, little lady." What? Come along? Who? Who are you talking to? Who are you, little lady? What the fuck do you mean? And anyway, so I have just learned to not really give a shit about what people think. However, online, people can be really mean because they are stuck behind a phone screen and don't feel like they will receive the reparations for being rude to people. So I was creating really lighthearted content to receive as much love as possible because I was insecure. Okay, I was. But like I said, I created more and more story times. People really loved them. And what happened was within 2 months of creating TikToks and being on the creator fund, I had paid off my entire lease, I had paid off all of my debt, and I quit my job in a heartbeat. I hated my life, and in a heartbeat, within 2 months, TikTok paid off all of my debt, everything. I was living rent-free for the rest of the year. How beautiful is that? Truthfully, how beautiful is that? Is that not actually fucking insane? For an entire year, I was living for free, but I had paid off my entire lease. And so when people say that being an influencer or being a TikToker isn't a job, like, if you make random ass content, whatever, like, yeah, maybe it's like not a job and you're just making money, but it makes money and more money than what the bullshit ass American dream job is gonna make me. So I took it, and I feel like the conversation that I start is important, okay? I quit my job. It was really good, and that was in March, I think, March or April that I quit my job. I can't exactly remember. And for the first 6 months of the year, for the first half of the year, I took all of that freedom to my advantage. And I'm going to be really clear and really vulnerable with you all. I was lazy. I laid in bed all day. Okay, I went to the gym, I went on walks, I went shopping. I was so lazy. And I think a part of that laziness had a lot to do with the fact that I felt like I had a lot of my time stolen from me as a result of being forced to go to a job that I hated and be treated horribly by not only other coworkers, but also, with the strangers and the customers in my life that I was being forced to treat well, because I was gonna be fired if I didn't. And I was fed up with it. So I think I took that freedom back by being lazy and laying in bed and watching a lot of movies and going shopping. Like, I did things that were not productive for me and probably wasted a lot of money, but I did it. And, like I said, like, I can't take it back, but I was lazy. And for that first half of the year, I think I was taking a little bit of revenge on society, or like the people in my life by literally completely disappearing and just strictly posting on TikTok, which turned really cool because, like I said, in the solitude of being in my apartment and being alone, I was able to be myself. And so I was being 100% myself in my own little apartment. Now, I was still in school, so I was doing that, and I would like get out and go to the coffee shop for a few hours. And so that was really cool. I had a lot more time to focus on my schoolwork. And that was cool, but I was lazy. I'm going to be real honest with you. I was so incredibly lazy. And within that first 6 months, I was just swiping through all of the comment sections of my videos because I wanted to make sure that everybody was receiving the right story, and I was receiving so much love. There, honestly, surprisingly, was very little negativity. I mean, so little negativity. I attribute that a lot to the fact that all of the negative light shining on the trans community was really putting a burden on how they could express themselves, especially online. And then this cisgender male comes on and is like, I dress up like a girl. And people were really able to absorb that and understand that. And so I attribute a lot of it to the fact that I have that privilege of being a cis man and people could understand it easily. But then what I realized was one morning I was swiping through a comment section and I got to this mom who commented on it, and she was like, I've been a follower for a couple months now, and I just want to say thank you so much for what you talk about, and especially how you talk about it. It redirected, she said, it redirected my perspective on how to treat my child who has been showing some gender bending characteristics. And I nicknamed it gender bending people like me because, you know, what else to call it, to sort of group the whole, you know, trans and non-binary and gender non-conforming people together. We're a gender bending demographic. And when I read that comment, I remember laying in bed for like an hour just reflecting over it, and it made me a little bit emotional because I love my parents. My mom and my dad have treated me with so much love and acceptance, and I'm so lucky because of where I grew up, and some family members did not treat me with that love and respect. I'm so lucky. But because they had nobody to sort of learn from, and I was the first one in my family who was like this, if you hear my dog crying in the background, it's because she is bored and she's needy. Anyway, she literally had water and food and went to the bathroom. Okay, she doesn't need anything. She just let me know she's bored and needs more attention. What I realized, though, was the content that I was creating, however lighthearted and unserious I was making it, was truly affecting people. And like I said, I love my parents and I love how accepting they've been and how loving they've been, but they did so much of it wrong. And I don't blame them, and I don't hold any resentment towards them for it, because they had nobody to learn from. And the only thing that that did was make me hate myself more, because I felt like even more of a black sheep. I felt even more like I was too different. And what I realized was I had just, even if it was only one person, had taught a parent, a mother to a child, how to treat their child. Maybe not raise them, but if they were showing these characteristics in a world that makes them feel so incredibly alone and different, and all that they have seen from their government is issues on top of issues surrounding the trans or gender nonconforming community. And if that parent will teach their child that love is love, and no matter what, I'm going to love you to the fullest extent, because it is not a judgment on your gender or on your expression. It is a judgment on your character, and I'm going to raise you to be a good child and not be someone who judges people for the clothes that they put on their body. And I realized that I could switch my content into something that could more positively impact people. And by that time, I had like 300 or 350,000 followers, and I was really affected by that comment. And like I said, I go through all my comments and I go through all of my DMs. No matter how long it takes, I want to hear from everybody. And even if I don't respond to you, I promise you that I'm reading them. And I then realized that a good number of parents, and specifically mothers, were DMing me or commenting and thanking me for the content that I create, saying that, like I said, they're redirecting their way that they treat their child, all the way as young as the 1-year-old. They're saying, I'm going to raise my child to teach them that they can be absolutely anything and it will not affect the way that I view them or love them. But then there were some mothers who were like, my gender nonconforming, child, or my son who is super feminine and gets misgendered a lot and is insecure over it, asks me to show them TikToks of you, of your story times or the things you talk about, because it makes them feel seen. And I've always said that if I could, with the platform that I have, change even one person's life, or change one person's way of thinking, or make only one child feel like they are a little more seen, that is all that I need from whatever, my 15 minutes of fame. If I could even redirect just one person's way of thinking, that is all I need. And it touches my heart in a way, because like I said, my parents have been so loving and accepting, but they did so many things wrong with how they were raising a queer, gender nonconforming child. And it just hit hard, because those kids in those lives and wherever they live are going to grow up with parents who are teaching them that it does not matter who you are and what you look like. It is a matter of your character. And are you a good person? And if you're a good person, then I don't have to worry about it. And so that was really interesting. And from then on, I continued to tell my story times, but every story time or every video in general that I made, I would make sure to include just a snippet of education, or just a snippet of something to get into the minds of people who are watching who may not understand it. And I don't know if you know, but I'm in school for marketing, and one of the things that we're learning is with advertisements and commercials, what we're supposed to do, or what the goal is to be able to teach these people or convince these people to consume this information without actually letting them notice that they're consuming this information. And that is, that's exactly what I was doing, and I didn't even realize that I was doing it, that these people were consuming this information without me even trying to, or without them understanding that they were learning from the videos that I was creating. And so every video or story time, I would make sure to include, I'm a cis man, and I dress like this, and that does not change my gender expression. Or, I'm sorry, my gender identity. Expression and identity are very different. Or if I didn't put that in, I would put in, I am not upset over being misgendered. I am never upset over being misgendered. I understand that the society we live in, and I understand that change is slow. I am never upset over being misgendered. I am always upset at the ignorance after, because uneducated ignorance and intentional ignorance are two very different things. And the uneducated ignorance of misgendering me is just truthfully from them living in this tiny little bubble, and they see someone outside of this bubble and they don't know how to react. But then once they learn about it, and they continue to misgender me, or they continue to mistreat me or treat me differently as a result of who I am, that is intentional ignorance. And I would make sure to include that in little pieces of content that I would make throughout the last 6 months or the last half of the year. And that turned into something really interesting, because more and more people would comment or DM me, thanking me for the way that I talk about things and the way that they just understand how I'm teaching this information and how I'm communicating this information. And that's sort of when I realized that even if my 15 minutes of fame is over at the end of this year, or whatever comes next, that I truthfully can start a conversation that is truthfully filled with educating people, and that in and of itself is my purpose on my platforms, even if I shade it with, with whatever comedic videos or weird videos of me expressing as this super hyper femme person, and people think that I'm a woman, and by the end of the video I transition with my shirt off and my 8-pack is showing. Like, even those things are so important to a community of people that truthfully feel like they are too different for this society. And that is my purpose, and that is my passion, and that is what I'm so grateful to have done in this past year on TikTok. That, and I should have been diversifying my content. I should have been spreading onto different platforms like YouTube and Instagram, as much as I don't like that place. And I should have been spreading it, because I think that the words could be spread a little bit further and really teach people. But, we all make mistakes, and like I said, I was lazy, and I'm starting to do it now, and I'm on YouTube right now, and hopefully that pans out and turns into something that can truthfully change the way some people look at others. And I really do hope that I can do something positive with this platform. But if anything, if at the end of 2024, well, it's 2025 now, but with this TikTok ban, if it really goes through and my 15 minutes of fame ends at any point in time, I just have to say that I am proud of the 80 people who have DM'd me. I am proud of those people, and I am proud of the kids and their lives that they are raising, not to be gay, not to be queer, not even to dress up hyper femme, but just that no matter who they are or what they look like, they are loved by even just their mom. It touches my heart. It really does, because it heals a little part of my inner child, knowing that those people are going to be experiencing, and those kids specifically are going to be experiencing the love from their parents that I wanted all along. And like I said, my parents are loving, but they did so much of it wrong because they were so uneducated. And those kids are just gonna grow up to learn that they are loved by their parents, and sometimes that makes all the difference. And I'm so proud of that. And maybe I didn't make that big of a change, and maybe I didn't change that many people's minds or lives, or I don't have that many followers, and I have a lot of followers, and I accomplished a lot, and I'm proud of the followers that I have gained. On all of my platforms, I have almost 500,000 followers, but in comparison to some other influencers, or in comparison to the world in general, that's not a lot of people. That is a tiny, tiny, tiny amount of people. And so maybe I didn't affect the world the way, in a big way, but I did change some people's perspectives, and I did affect some people's lives in a positive light. And that is all I've ever wanted. And I'm so grateful that I have made people feel seen. And on that note, actually, somebody just recently DM'd me. It is this person. I don't even know their name, but it is this androgynous man. And I hope that you watch this video to the end. It's this androgynous person who was complaining about, and this person DM'd me, and he was like, I'm really insecure because I'm an androgynous man, and seeing your videos has really helped the way that I view myself. And he asked me if I had any problems with, like, the dating life of being a hyper femme or gender nonconforming, presenting person. And I was like, yeah, but one thing about being so different from society is you get blessed with learning how to love yourself truthfully and deeply. And I think that is more important than finding any love in my life from outside. And yeah, him DMing me was really interesting because, again, like, seeing the way that I've affected people is always really cool. I have a P.O. box, and some people have sent me letters. Not a lot, But some people have sent me letters and some art about how I've affected them and how I'm seen, or how what I talk about makes them feel seen. And it really is heart-filling to know that I am like changing people's perspectives, even if it's just one or two people. So that's been really interesting. My camera overheated again, so I had to start recording, but then I sat around for like 20 more minutes, and so I'm kind of like out of the mood of being on camera. But I oh my goodness. What is the last thing that I wanted to talk about? Sorry, now I have to like get back into the zone. Hold on. Let me Okay. That's my second thing of caffeine. That probably is 150 milligrams of caffeine. I had 200 milligrams this second I woke up this morning. I'm gonna have a heart murmur, and I really don't give a shit. I don't. Look at how the world's going right now. I really don't give a shit. I could not give less of a shit, actually. So yeah, that sort of sums up the past year that I've had on TikTok. I feel incredibly blessed, and with the ban coming up, if it happens, if it doesn't, which I feel like it's going to, but whatever happens, right? I feel so incredibly blessed with the amount of love I've received. I am so lucky to have received so little hate, truthfully, in places that matter, in places where I make the money. I have received so little hate and so much acceptance, and it is a good reminder that there are people out there that truthfully just look at you with the way that you are and judge you on your character and not on how you look or how you present or how you talk. Like, they just truthfully judge you on your character. Apparently, truthfully is my word of the day. I feel like I've used it like 100 times. But yeah, I am very grateful for the year that it has given me. It gave me, if anything, a year off of working at some fuck-ass job, and instead, I almost said truthfully again, actually talking about my passion and something that I think is really good for the world, and claiming our presence here in society and teaching people that being who you are in terms of your identity or the way you express yourself is not a judgment of your character. And I feel like, even, like I said, even if it's one or two people, teaching people that it is not simply a judgment on how they look, but on how they act is really important. And I think that that is a really positive note that I have done. And yeah, that's kind of what I want to leave you all with. I am, like I said, I have a P.O. box. If you guys could be so kind as to like and share and comment on this video, it would be so, so helpful to me in my life. And I've always been very grateful, but I'm asking for more even though I've already received so much. Please subscribe. I love you all. Turn on those notifications, please. Anyway, I love you all. Whatever happens next, I know that I'm worthy enough to be able to accomplish it, and you all have taught me that and smacked me in the face with it, and I'm so grateful, and I love you all. I truthfully do love the people who are like faithful followers. Like, I really do love you all, and I feel your love, and I read every single comment, and I read every single DM, and I read every single letter that comes to my P.O. box that I truthfully do, and I love you all. Whatever my life turns out to be, I know that I had my 15 minutes of fame, and I believe that I used it for good. But new episodes come out every Monday of Boys and Lip Gloss. I really love what I'm doing with this because nobody does podcasts anymore. Nobody does podcasts. I'm the first one. I'm unique, okay? I do weekly vlogs every Wednesday. And that can be anything from either a vlog throughout the week, or I do a challenge. Like the last week, I did a challenge, Truth or Drink, with my best friend, and then next week it might be something different. So if you all think that you would like to hear a certain theme be talked about in these episodes, then you can comment on in the comment section below, and if I like the theme, or if everybody else likes the theme, then I will talk about it. if you want to see me do something, if you want to see me do a workout or go somewhere or try something or do something new, comment on my Wednesday vlogs and I will try and make that happen for you. There's a few things coming in, I don't know, hopefully the near future. I think that I'm going to try drag for the first time. I have never put makeup on my face except for one time in like my freshman year of high school, and somebody else did it and it was horrible. But I think I like really want to go for doing drag and claim back my femininity in a way that is an art form. I would love to do that, and I think that we're going to do that pretty soon. If you guys like that idea, please comment down below, and with makeup tips and a lot of help and some inspiration, because I need it. I've never done it before. I watch that world, but I've never experienced that world, so please educate me. Yeah, I think that sums up today's episode. Thank you for everyone who reached to the end. If you did reach the end, like I said, like, comment, share. I hate marketing myself, but I'm going to do it anyway, okay? As always, cause a commotion, do your research, cite your sources, be a menace to society. I love you all, and get your shit together.